One of the most haunting mysteries in American history is the disappearance of Maura Murray, a 21-year-old nursing student whose vanishing in 2004 has puzzled investigators, journalists, and internet sleuths for over 2 decades. To this day, her case remains one of the most famous unsolved disappearances in the United States, a story that feels more like a thriller novel than reality. Maura was born in 1982 in Hanson, Massachusetts, the fourth of 5 children. She was bright, athletic, and highly intelligent, admired for her discipline and ambition. After high school, she entered the prestigious United States Military Academy at West Point, a path that could have led to an outstanding military career. But after 2 years, she suddenly left West Point and transferred to the University of Massachusetts Amherst, where she studied nursing. That decision would quietly mark a turning point in her life, a life that, from the outside, looked promising, but inside carried hidden cracks. Maura's personal life was far from stable. Her parents were divorced, her relationships were complicated, and her long-distance romance with her boyfriend Billy, an Army officer, was strained, full of arguments and even accusations of infidelity. To make matters worse, in the months before she vanished, Maura got into legal trouble after being caught using a stolen credit card to order food. It was a minor offense, punished with probation, but it revealed a side of her that few people knew. Restless, troubled, and perhaps secretly struggling. Just days before her disappearance, a strange and emotional incident took place. While working a night shift at her dormitory security desk, Maura received a phone call from her sister Kathleen. The conversation's details remain unknown, but whatever was said shook Maura to her core. Moments after hanging up, she broke down in uncontrollable tears. Her supervisor was so alarmed that she escorted Maura back to her dorm room to rest. That emotional collapse was never fully explained, but many believe it was a clue to her fragile state of mind in the days leading up to February 2004. On Monday, February 9th, 2004, Maura's life took a mysterious turn. That morning, she sat at her laptop and searched for directions to the White Mountains region of New Hampshire and Vermont. She looked up cabins and motels in the area, as if planning a sudden getaway. Then she sent emails to her professors, claiming there had been a death in the family and that she would be absent for several days. In reality, no one in her family had died. Why she fabricated this excuse remains one of the many unanswered questions. Later that day, she packed some clothes, textbooks, toiletries, a small amount of cash, and several bottles of alcohol she had purchased earlier. She left her dorm and began driving her 1996 Saturn sedan north. She told no one where she was going. Not her father, not her boyfriend, not her closest friends. At around 7:30 p.m., on a dark rural road in Haverhill, New Hampshire, her car crashed into a snowbank. The impact wasn't severe, but enough to disable the vehicle. Neighbors heard the noise and came outside. One woman offered to call the police, but Maura declined, saying she had already phoned roadside assistance. Something investigators later discovered was untrue. Another neighbor eventually called authorities anyway. Within 10 minutes, a police cruiser arrived. The officer found the Saturn locked, its airbags deployed, headlights still on. Inside the car were Maura's personal belongings: clothing, school books, a box of wine, and an open bottle of alcohol. But Maura herself was gone. There were no footprints leading into the woods, no signs of blood, no clear direction of travel. It was as if she had stepped out of the car and simply vanished. Police dogs picked up her scent for about 100 yards down the road, but then it abruptly ended, as if she had gotten into another vehicle. This discovery fueled one of the strongest theories, that someone picked her up that night. But who? And under what circumstances? Witness accounts only deepened the mystery. Some neighbors claimed Maura appeared calm and polite at the scene, while others said she seemed nervous and frightened. One local even reported seeing a man nearby, though the sighting was never confirmed. Adding to the strangeness, her boyfriend Billy later said he received a chilling voicemail, a call with nothing but heavy breathing on the other end. The number was untraceable, and to this day, no one knows who placed it. Investigators considered multiple possibilities. Did Maura plan her own disappearance, hoping to escape her stressful life, her legal troubles, and her failing relationship? Some argue she was overwhelmed and wanted to start fresh somewhere far away. But others dismiss this, pointing out she had little money and no known resources to sustain a new identity. Could she have taken her own life? Perhaps, but there was no suicide note, and search teams scoured the surrounding woods, rivers, and fields without finding a single trace. The most chilling theory remains foul play, that she accepted a ride from the wrong person at the wrong time, and something terrible happened. For days, hundreds of volunteers joined police, K-9 units, and even helicopters equipped with thermal cameras in the search. Divers explored nearby ponds and rivers, yet no body, no bag, no phone, no single piece of definitive evidence was ever recovered. It was as though the earth had swallowed her whole. The case quickly became a media sensation. National programs like Dateline in 2020 covered it extensively, turning Maura's disappearance into one of the internet's first true crime phenomena. Online forums exploded with theories. Some said she ran away to start a new life. Others speculated she was killed by a local predator. And some even linked her case to possible serial killers operating in New England at the time. Rumors spread that she had been sighted in Canada or other states, but none were ever verified. Her father, Fred Murray, never gave up. He relentlessly searched the area where her car was found. Week after week, year after year, he placed flowers, gave emotional interviews, and insisted, "My daughter did not run away, somebody took her." His devotion kept the case alive, pressuring authorities to reopen investigations multiple times. In 2017, the FBI joined state police to re-examine evidence. But even with modern technology, the trail remained cold. And so, the story of Maura Murray endures, an unsolved riddle frozen in time. Why did she lie about a family death? Why drive hundreds of miles without telling anyone? What happened in the crucial minutes between the crash and the police arriving? Did she willingly step into a stranger's car? Or was she forced? Was she escaping her past or walking into her fate? 2 decades later, we are no closer to the truth. The roadside where she vanished has become a silent memorial, marked by flowers and tributes from strangers who never met her, but feel drawn to her mystery. Maura's name lives on, not in closure, but in haunting questions that may never be answered. So what really happened on that freezing night in February 2004? Was Maura Murray running from something or towards something? Or did she simply vanish into the dark void of America's most unsolvable mysteries? If stories like this fascinate you and you want to dive deeper into real mysteries and true unsolved cases, make sure to subscribe to TrueScope and hit the notification bell, because the next story may be even darker, stranger, and more mysterious than this one.